we are going to pivot here away from the Diamondbacks and take a look at the rest of Major League Baseball with our power rankings for this week. Jesse Friedman, what do you got for us?
We got a new number one, Derek. That's
Wow.
what we got. The New York Yankees.
Oh, my goodness.
To the number one spot. They continue to inexplicably have one of the best pitching staffs in baseball, even though Garrett Cole has yet to throw a pitch this season, which is wild to me. The Phillies dropped down into the number two spot. They're still 39-18, but they were 3-4 this past week. A little bit of a rough go lately by Phillies.
Crazy
standards.
when you play teams above 500, how that goes.
It does, yeah. I guess it does. I guess it can make a difference if you're not just like beating up on the Marlins every week. Yeah, the Baltimore Orioles are in the 3 spot. That we've got Dodgers 4, Guardians 5, Braves 6, Royals 7. The Milwaukee Brewers at number 8. We have a new team in the top 10 this week. The Seattle Mariners coming in at number 9. They've been playing pretty good baseball as of late. Pretty big credit to several former Diamondbacks, Derek. Josh Rojas is playing pretty well. Ryan Bliss. Ryan Bliss made his big league debut this past week. Dom Canzone has been back from injury for a couple of weeks, hit a home run, I believe, yesterday. So they're in the number 9 spot. Then we have the Minnesota Twins rounding things out at number 10.
Devin says Phillies dropped a series to the Rockies, so thus can the Phillies only move down 1 spot? I think that alone should cause them to move down multiple spots. The Orioles went 6-1 over the last week. That's nuts. That's the reason why you see there the biggest change. It felt like the Orioles were kind of dropping out of things, and then they come right back with a 6-1 week. They have a plus 69 run differential. Nice.
Yeah, the Phillies, it is fair. I guess the Phillies just lost 2 out of 3 to the Giants after losing 2 out of 3 to the Rockies. So those aren't great teams. Although I will say the Giants, by taking 2 out of 3 from the Phillies, are now 1 game over 500 at 29-28. So the Giants have kind of turned things around lately.
They have. So the Padres and the Giants now kind of both of them sitting there above 500, while the Diamondbacks now have to deal with the fact that they have the Rockies creeping up on them with the way the Rockies have been playing.
Are the Rockies creeping up on the Diamondbacks?
The Rockies have had a pretty good week. I don't want to talk about the Rockies. They don't deserve time to be spoken about during our, top power rankings. But
the Diamondbacks are much closer to the Rockies than they are to the Dodgers. That we can say. The Rockies are 20. The Rockies are 20-35. The Rockies are 5 games behind the Diamondbacks at this point. You're right. That's a lot closer than I realized. The Chicago Cubs, I will also say real quick, the Cubs had a pretty brutal week. I believe they were 1-5, and they just cannot hit. And of course, the Diamondbacks sort of in the same boat there. But the Chicago Cubs have very much struggled lately. Their run differential is down to -8. They're back to 500 at 28-28. So they drop off the top 10 this week. And also Shota Imanaga, Derek, proved that he was, in fact, a human being.
He finally.
And yes, finally, as he gave up, I think it was 7 runs in his outing yesterday to the Milwaukee Brewers. So, of course, give up 7 runs, your ERA is still sub 2. So that's the state of Shota Imanaga's baseball career at this point. But yeah, a bit of a rough one, a bit of a rough week for the Cubs. I will say the St. Louis Cardinals are also maybe a little more relevant than we gave them credit for a couple weeks ago.
8-2 in the last 10, and they are at 500 themselves. Giants get up over the top of Mount 500, 29-28. And then you could give an honorable mention spot to the Rangers as well for sweeping the Diamondbacks and getting they were almost, both of the teams that were in the World Series were almost in the same spot when this series started.
Very similar.
Right.
Yeah.
And now, things look much better for the Rangers than the Diamondbacks. But of course, the Diamondbacks do have 4 against the Mets. And like we said before, if there is a team to have right now, to be playing right now, it's the Mets, unless they actually take that stuff to heart, those team meetings, that early infield practice, and then maybe not so much. But things are just rough for the Diamondbacks right now. I mean, this hasn't been a great season around baseball. Like we said yesterday, the National League is kind of a mess when it comes to teams with an above 500 record. There weren't many, especially before yesterday or the day before. But this is just a situation where the Diamondbacks can't drop back too far. They're 5 games below 500. They have a chance to at least, keep it close to 500 here with this series against the Mets. We discussed yesterday, they have Geraldo Perdomo potentially making a rehab start early next week. So we could see Perdomo return as early as the following weekend, would you say maybe?
Yeah. I think against the Padres next weekend, I think it's possible that the Perdomo is back with the D-backs. Where do you think we would have the D-backs if we were to add them? If we were to like continue our power rankings down until we got to them? I guess
that's rough.
The Giants and the Padres would have to be higher, right? They're both a game over 500.
Cubs.
So that's 11 and 12.
Cubs would be higher.
Cubs are close because of how terrible they're playing right now, but I would still maybe put them higher. So you've got maybe
Cardinals.
Cubs are at 13th. Cardinals, they've won 8 out of 10. They're a minus 35 on the season. I'm still a little bit skeptical of them,
sure,
but I think that's probably fair.
Rangers would probably be. I mean, it'd be hard
Rangers,
to put Rangers below them after they just
swept them. Yeah. Red Sox, I would probably put above the D-backs there at 500 and have a pretty good run differential this year. That's six teams that we just listed off. So that would put the D-backs at number 17, I think.
Not great.
Yeah.
Not great. But of course, hopefully they can get things back on track. Like we said, this is the series to do it. So I'm gonna change what I said earlier, and I'm gonna be cautiously optimistic now, and say hopefully they can get things back on track here. But